A very good morning to all of you. You're watching Breakfast News. My name is Aditi Nagpal Girotra. Let's get the bulletin rolling with the headlines. After Maharashtra Prime Minister Narendra Modi to begin campaign in Haryana today, Amit Shah and Rahul Gandhi to also address rallies in the state. BJP releases manifesto for Haryana, focus on women, youth and farmers. India and Sierra Leone signed 6 agreements, agreed to push for UN SCD reforms. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu announces opening of Indian High Commission. Also announces line of credit for irrigation development. Postpaid mobile services to be restored in the Kashmir Valley from today noon. Landline services already fully functional. Sunday market in Srinagar witnesses huge rush of customers. Killer Typhoon Hagibis claims 33 lives in Japan. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed condolences, offers assistance. Indian Navy deploys 2 warships to help in rescue operations. Pope Francis declares Indian nun Maryam Theresa as saint at the canonization ceremony in Vatican City. Saint Maryam founded Congregation of the Sisters of the Holy Family in Thrissur in 1914. Prime Minister Modi called it a matter of pride for every Indian in Mann Ki Baat radio program on 29 September. And now let's begin with all the news from poll-bound states of Haryana and Maharashtra. First up, a look at Haryana. With only a week to go for assembly elections, campaigning has entered its last leg. In Haryana, PM Narendra Modi will address his first election, Faridabad's Ballabgarh district. PM's campaign is expected to focus on Manohar Lal Khattar's no corruption image, along with delivering on central social welfare schemes. The PM is also scheduled to address rallies in Kurukshetra, Dadri and Hisar this week. BJP Chief Amit Shah is scheduled to campaign 3 election rallies in Haryana. Shah will address rallies in Fatehabad, Sirsa and Hisar. Meanwhile, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi will also kick off election campaign in the state with an election rally in Nuh district today. BJP released its Haryana election manifesto on Sunday, promising a slew of measures including easy loans for farmers, free education to girls from poor families and skill training to 25 lakh youths. The BJP promised to give collateral-free loan of up to Rs 3 lakh to members of the scheduled castes, interest-free crop loan of Rs 3 lakh to farmers and provide skill training with an outlay of Rs 500 crore to 25 lakh youths. Committed to showing zero tolerance for corruption, the BJP said round-the-clock toll-free anti-corruption call center will be set up. Special incentives for industries employing 95% local people. An increase in old age pension was also announced. BJP's National Working President J.P. Nadda, Union Ministers Narendra Singh Tomar and Rao Inderjit Singh and CM Manohar Lal Khattar were also present at the event. Nadda said the manifesto represents all sections of society.
सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका विश्वास, इसको तो हम ले ही रहे हैं, लेकिन समाज के सारे इश्यूज को और सारे सेक्शंस ऑफ द सोसाइटी को एड्रेस करने की कोशिश है। जहां तक किसान का सवाल है, किसान को कमाऊ और टिकाऊ बनाना है। वह कमाने लायक हो, उसकी आमदनी बढ़े और वो कृषि के क्षेत्र में टिका रहे।
We have our news correspondent Ravindra on phone line with us. Let's gain more information on the scenario. PM Modi will address a mega rally in Balabgarh, Ravindra, today. What is likely to be the focus? It is now PM Modi versus Rahul Gandhi in the poll-bound state.
Yeah, good morning. That's right. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to address his first election rally in Haryana today. And BJP is going all guns blazing in this election as the electioneering is entering into the last leg of the elections. Only less than 1 week is now rest of time when the election will take place and voting will be on 21st. BJP is going on full throttle in this election. Prime Minister will address rallies today in Faridabad and tomorrow in Charkhi Dadri. Prime Minister is addressing 4 rallies in different parts of the state, followed by Amit Shah, who has already started his campaign in the state. JP Nadda has released the manifesto yesterday, and the BJP's manifesto that is primarily focused on the youth, women and the farmers. All the political leaders of the BJP, they are focusing on the corruption-free image of the present Manohar Lal Khattar dispensation. And BJP's leaders, they are saying that the previous regime of Congress and the INLD, they were full of corruption, and the government employment that was given by those government, that was basically in exchange of the money. And the present dispensation of Manohar Lal, that is corruption-free government, no corruption, and law and order has also been stabilized by this government. Besides this, Congress President Rahul Gandhi is also scheduled to address rally in Nuh today. This will be the first rally of the former Congress President Rahul Gandhi. And after that, no other senior leaders of the Congress party's schedule has so far been shared with the media. Congress party is still more banking upon the state leadership. Congress has also released its manifesto, which is also focusing on the youth and the employment to the youth and farmers. The JJP, the third political party, which is newly formed outfit of coming out of the INLD, they are yet to release their manifesto. Dushyant Chautala, who is a former member of parliament, he is also focusing on the issues of youth and the farmers in the state, but they are yet to come up with their manifesto. But BJP is all set in this election. They are going full throttle. Prime Minister will address rallies in different part of the state. Aditi.
Right. Thank you, Ravindra, for all the information. Now let's head on to our next piece of news. Now let's get you all the news and updates from the election battleground in Maharashtra. Prime Minister Modi hit campaign trail in poll-bound Maharashtra on Sunday, where he addressed public rallies in Jalgaon and Bhandara districts. Targeting the opposition, he said the government has paid special attention to rural Maharashtra, which was neglected by the previous government for decades. He added that the BJP government was working with a new energy towards creating the identity of New India.
बांटने और छांटने वाली राजनीति अब अतीत हो गई है और इसका ट्रेलर आप सभी ने 2014 में दिखा दिया था और इस चुनाव में आप लोग पूरी फिल्म दिखा देने वाले हैं। जो काम करेगा उसको ही आपका विश्वास मिलेगा, ये अब सिद्ध हो चुका है।
Stepping up his attack on the Congress and NCP over nullification of Article 370, PM accused them of politicizing the issue. He assured that it will not take more than 4 months to normalize the situation in the valley.
जम्मू कश्मीर और लद्दाख को लेकर लिया गया फैसला भाजपा के उन संस्कारों का भी आईना है। हमारे वादों और इरादों में एक स्पष्टता भी है और वादों को पूरा करने का साहस भी है।
BJP President Amit Shah campaigned in Kolhapur on Sunday. Shah appealed to people to once again vote the Fadnavis government to power so that the state can become number one in every field. Rahul Gandhi campaigned in Maharashtra's Latur district on Sunday. Stepping up attack on the ruling BJP, Gandhi raised the issue to unemployment among youth. He said divisive politics was one of the reasons behind the closure of scores of factories in the country. He appealed to people to elect the Congress in the upcoming election.
कांग्रेस पार्टी की विचारधारा महाराष्ट्र के दिल के अंदर है। ये जो प्रदेश है, ये कांग्रेस पार्टी की नींव है, फाउंडेशन है। यहां पे आपके दिल के अंदर, आपके खून के अंदर कांग्रेस पार्टी की हिंदुस्तान की विचारधारा भरी हुई है। उसको कोई निकाल नहीं सकता।
India and Sierra Leone have signed 6 agreements to boost bilateral cooperation on Sunday during Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu's visit to the African nation. Both the countries have agreed to enhance cooperation in agriculture, food processing, information technology, infrastructure development, and capacity building. They also agreed to push for UNSC reforms. The agreements were signed in presence of Julius Maada Bio, President of Sierra Leone, and the Vice President Naidu after they held delegation-level talks in Freetown. Vice President Naidu announced the opening of a high commission in Sierra Leone. He also announced a line of credit of $30 million to Sierra Leone for irrigation development. Naidu also expressed his satisfaction at the cooperation between India and Sierra Leone in the field of capacity building, especially under India's flagship ITEC program. He said that enormous potential exists for Indian participation in mining, agro-industries, aquaculture, diamonds, and pharmaceuticals.
The United Nations has to be further reflect the realities of today and address the current global challenges. We will move together. We agreed that both sides need to continue pushing for reforms so that the 1/3 of the mankind residing in Africa and India occupy their rightful place at the high table in decision-making bodies of the United Nations. I also thank the President Bio for Sierra Leone's support for India's candidature in various international organizations. That we will be working along with you and we will be working together and our development cooperation to Sierra Leone with our lines of credit so far has been worth, as I said, 217.5 million, covering a range of sectors. I'm happy that we continue to cooperate closely on capacity building, especially under our flagship ITEC programs. I'm told Your Excellency is taking more interest in education, in skill development, and in encouraging the youth to acquire these skills. I can assure you that India will extend all the required support in this.
Re-establishing Indian Embassy in Freetown, which is the capital of Sierra Leone, and extending India-Sierra Leone cooperation in areas such as finance, trade, technology, and also providing food grains to the country, Vice President of India, Venkaiah Naidu, had a fruitful dialogue with the President and Vice President of Sierra Leone today. Both the leaders have agreed to extend and enhance cooperation in various fields by strengthening the strong bond between the people. With camera person Sanjay Kumar from Freetown, Rajkamal Rao, Rajya Sabha TV.
Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has termed the Indian diaspora as an important partner in strengthening India's international outreach. Addressing the Indian community at a reception in Sierra Leone, Vice President Naidu called upon them to contribute to the development of both countries, stating that Indian citizens abroad serve as equal partners in India's quest for peace, prosperity and development. The Vice President invited the Indian diaspora to play a key role in spreading the message of India. He said that India was on the move and is fast becoming a favorite investment destination for the world. Vice President Naidu stated,
India is thriving. The reason being Indian philosophy, universal brotherhood, Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu, Vasudhaika Kutumbakam. The entire world is one family. That is the philosophy. Share and care is the core of our Indian philosophy. And India was once known as Visva Guru. Students from abroad, they used to come to Nalanda, then Takshashila, Pushpagiri, Vikramsura, all these places, and they used to get educated, even Chinese historians.
Vice President Naidu stated that government's decision to reorganize Jammu and Kashmir was intended to extend all the laws and benefits of developmental programs to this region and ensure inclusive all-round development. He also reiterated India's offer to conduct a Jaipur foot camp in Sierra Leone under the India for Humanity initiative for fitting of artificial prosthetic limbs for disabled. He also thanked Sierra Leone President Bayo for releasing a postage stamp on Mahatma Gandhi.
Keeping on moreover, being a bordering state, our neighbor is aiding, abetting, funding, training terrorists, and separatist tendencies are being encouraged. And the focus is more on controlling it rather than on development. So India, after considerable thought and discussion, the government of India has decided to reorganize Jammu and Kashmir. We have not changed the boundaries of the state. Boundaries will remain the same.
With this, we'll halt in for a quick break on Breakfast News, but we'll be back soon. Stay tuned with us. Welcome back. You're still with us on Breakfast News. The Netherlands King William Alexander and Queen Maxima arrived in New Delhi on Sunday for a 5-day visit. The royal couple was given a traditional welcome at the airport in New Delhi, where several officials lined up to receive them. King William Alexander's trip will be his first state visit to India following his ascension to the throne in 2013. Their program includes meetings with President Ramnath Kovind, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and call on by the External Affairs Minister. The visit is expected to boost economic and political cooperation between the two countries. All postpaid mobile connections will start functioning normally from noon today in the remaining areas of Jammu and Kashmir. The announcement was made by Jammu and Kashmir Principal Secretary Rohit Kansal last week. Kansal expressed hope that the move will help achieve normalization in the valley. About 40 lakh postpaid mobile phones will become operational from today. However, over 20 lakh prepaid mobile phones, beside the mobile and other internet services, will remain suspended for now.
More specifically, all postpaid mobile phones, irrespective of the telecom service provider, will stand restored and be functional from 12 noon on Monday, the 14th of October 2019. This will cover all 10 districts of Kashmir province.
At least 10 people died and some others were injured in a cylinder blast in Mau district in Uttar Pradesh. The cylinder exploded at a house in Walidpur area in Mau on Monday. UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has expressed his deepest condolences to the family of the deceased. UP CM has directed DM and other officials to immediately provide all possible relief and medical help to the injured people. Pope Francis elevated Kerala-born nun Maryam Theresa to sainthood on Sunday. Minister of State for External Affairs V. Muralidharan was present in Vatican City to attend the canonization ceremony at the St. Petersburg Square. Born in Thrissur district, Theresa was a social reformer who established Congregation of Holy Family in 1914, which later became one of the prominent religious congregations of the Syro-Malabar Church. Saint Theresa passed away in 1926. The Prime Minister had praised Saint Theresa in his Mann Ki Baat last month.
सिस्टर मरियम थ्रेसिया ने 50 साल के अपने छोटे से जीवन काल में ही मानवता की भलाई के लिए जो कार्य किए वो पूरी दुनिया के लिए एक मिसाल है। समाज सेवा और शिक्षा के क्षेत्र से उनका अद्भुत लगाव था। उन्होंने कई स्कूल, हॉस्टल और अनाथालय बनवाए और जीवन पर्यंत इस मिशन में लगी रही। मैं एक बार फिर से सिस्टर मरियम थ्रेसिया को श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करता हूं और भारत के लोगों को, खास तौर पर हमारे ईसाई भाई बहनों को इस उपलब्धि के लिए बहुत-बहुत बधाई देता हूं।
A parliamentary delegation led by Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla is in Belgrade in Serbia to attend the 141st Inter-Parliamentary Union Assembly. The 141st Assembly of the Inter-Parliamentary Union is being held in Belgrade, Serbia from October 13th to 17th. Lok Sabha Speaker held a review meeting with the Indian delegation. Ahead of the beginning of the event, Om Birla met with IPU President Gaby Kovas. In the meeting, he discussed about the successful conduct of the first session of the 17th Lok Sabha, in which productivity of Lok Sabha went up to 125%. He also held a bilateral meeting with the Speaker of Bangladesh, Dr. Shireen Sharmin Chaudhry. In the meeting, he invited her to come to India to witness the working of the Indian Parliament and interact with Indian women parliamentarians and young members of Parliament. He also met with the President of Chamber of Deputies of Mexico, Laura Rojas Hernandez, and the parliamentary delegation. The two sides discussed about parliamentary cooperation between the two parliaments. At least 35 people died and 17 others are missing as Typhoon Hagibis ripped through Japan, including Tokyo's metropolitan area, causing multiple rivers to overflow and power blackout. Typhoon Hagibis made landfall south of Tokyo on Saturday evening and battered central and northern Japan with torrents of rain and powerful gusts of wind. The typhoon was downgraded to a tropical storm on Sunday. Public broadcaster NHK said 14 rivers across the nation had flooded, some spilling out in more than one spot. The typhoon 6 decades ago left more than 1,200 people dead and 500,000 houses flooded. In a series of tweets, Prime Minister Narendra Modi condoled the loss of lives in Japan due to Typhoon Hagibis and said Indian Navy personnel who are there on a scheduled visit would be happy to assist the rescue operations. After Prime Minister Narendra Modi gave his condolences to Japan, India has sent 2 warships to the waters of Japan to help the Asian nation battered by Typhoon Hagibis in relief operations. Indian boxer Manju Rani bagged the silver medal in the 48 kg category final in the World Women's Boxing Championship at Ulan-Ude in Russia on Sunday. Manju lost the gold medal bout 1-4 against second seed Ekaterina Paltseva of Russia, but still managed to finish as the best Indian performer in this edition. This was Manju's maiden appearance at the World Championship. And with this, it's a wrap on this edition of Breakfast News. Thank you so much for your time.